F around and find out. Season. Nebraska MAGA voters break down in tears after voting against their interests. Hey man, listen dog, sometimes you gotta do a little bit more research. Sometimes things are not always what they seem to be. This is the rug getting pulled from underneath you.
Nebraska, you overwhelmingly voted for the orange man. Maybe if the majority of y'all wasn't so anti-black, you'd still have your job.
Because they were heartbroken. They don't want to go anywhere. This is their home.
The Tyson plant gave us notice of a layoff procedure, warm notice, over a week ago. They'll be closing their facility as of January 20th, impacting 3,200 individuals for the community of Lexington. The general mood of the individuals coming in for our services, of course, is anxiety. What do I do next? When will I have a job? Where do I go?
In 2 weeks, I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now.
Okay, why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
Well, to be honest, I wanted no tax on overtime, but I'm starting to regret my decision because I think it's a lie now.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you honestly think that's going to happen?
I don't.
Yeah, that's my opinion about that. So, I don't know. I really don't know much about politics, but yeah, I just like to say I enjoy your show and I learn a lot from you.
I appreciate you. One thing I would say is make sure someone has a reputable character. Donald Trump has the least reputable character. I was pretty certain he was lying about that from the very beginning. It sounded like he was just giving off he was literally doing the Republican meme. You know, Republicans are always Democrats want to give out free money. That's literally what Donald Trump was doing. They're literally just lying. He was lying about giving out free money.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys. February 10th. It's a day I'll never forget. It's the day I regret voting for Donald Trump. Getting rid of all these jobs. I just lost my job after 10 years. 10 years on the research and development team.
People belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans.
She seems super fun, and I heard she's single, so get on that. At least she's got enthusiasm, right?
Hi guys, it's your girl Bleezy, and you're welcome back to Bleezy React channel. And if you're joining us for the first time, we appreciate you. You are welcome. And also do well to subscribe to our channel for more unfiltered, raw and real truth. So Nebraska was once a fortress of unwavering support, rally crowds, red hats, thunderous applauses, but now the mood has shifted. This is the moment the cheering stops and the counting begins. Counting of bills, counting of losses, counting of the promises that somehow vanished. You were told it would be strength. You were promised it would be prosperity. You believed it will hurt someone else. But pressure doesn't check party registration. Inflammation doesn't care about campaign slogan. And consequences don't skip supporters. This isn't a plot twist. It is a wake-up call. When you gamble with your future, don't act shocked when the house wins. FAFO isn't noise. It's mass. And the numbers, they are adding up. So guys, join me as we get into more videos.
State that voted overwhelmingly for that guy, and now they're all crying and screaming because their workforce is gone. All the immigrants that were there doing whatever they did for them, gone. All these people jumping on TikTok, all over social media, complaining about how they're about to lose their farms because they don't have anybody to work the farms. My thing is, like, when the man told you he was going to deport the immigrants and y'all still voted for him, did you think he was joking? Because his hatred for immigrants and people of color and anybody who's not a wealthy white man was the first clue that the rest of us got that he was going to do what the hell he said he was going to do. Let's be real about it. He tried it and got blocked in 2016 because at that time there were people in places in the administration that prevented him from doing that. Well, now he done got rid of all those people who would have stopped him from doing this craziness.
Does anybody care about Nebraska? That's the question that's going around TikTok right now. And to that, I respond with two questions. Did Nebraska care about anybody else? And does Nebraska care about Nebraska? Because you see, God helps those who help themselves. And when you Nebraskans walked into the voting booth and overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump to be president, and now you're feeling the effects of that, this isn't I told you so. This is an FAFO. And I know there are Nebraskans out there that voted for Kamala Harris and did not fall into the trap of Donald Trump. Unfortunately, there were not enough of you. And now the rumors, and I'm having a hard time substantiating some of this, but the vibe that's going around is that Nebraska basically looks to be bankrupt in about 6 months because of the undocumented migrants that are being deported, or just the fact that undocumented migrants make up a large portion of their state and workforce on the farms. And they're not showing up to work because they're now afraid they're going to be deported. So Nebraskans, especially farmers in Nebraska, did you think any further than the front of your face? Did you think any further, or were you just blinded by hate?
So all that's left are the people like them, like y'all, who voted for this, who agree with the shit. I'm having a hard time understanding why we should care. Why those of us who didn't fuck around but are also finding out, why are we supposed to care? Why are we supposed to be like, oh, you are sorry and you regret your vote because you're about to lose your family farm and God knows what else? We all got drama that we got to deal with and live through.
Never forget that elections have consequences. For one city in Nebraska, they're learning that shit the hard way. Curtis, Nebraska has a population of 806. It's the kind of place with a single traffic light, one health clinic, and a fuck ton of American flags. And in 2024, over 85% of them voted for Donald Trump. Now, their only medical clinic is shutting down by September 30th of this year. It's the kind of place people went for everything. For checkups, blood work, urgent care, you name it, that's where they went. And once it's gone, they'll be looking at a 40-mile round trip just to see a doctor. So who have they decided to blame? Not Trump, not the Republican Party. They're blaming the hospital executives. Like this is some sort of isolated business failure and not the direct result of the GOP's big, beautiful bill that gutted Medicaid and rural healthcare funding. That bill slashed nearly $1 trillion from Medicaid. Small-town hospitals like Curtis's, they were the first ones thrown under the bus. And the GOP knew it was coming. And now look where these people are. Sick, stranded, and still making excuses for the guy who signed their death warrant. But this is the cost of voting for the con man, guys. Your taxes don't get you care. Your vote doesn't get you help. It just buys you a slower, more painful collapse. So when you say you support law and order and protecting life, but watch your hospital close down under a president you put back in power, you're not just a voter. You're the getaway driver.
A friendly town in Nebraska is feeling the weight of the president's economic policies. Joining us, MS Now national reporter Rosa Flores, who's in Lexington, Nebraska.
Katie, have you ever been in a place where you can just feel the pain and the anxiety? That's what it feels like being here in Lexington, Nebraska. This is a town of under 11,000 people, and 3,200 will lose their jobs on January 20th when the Tyson plant in town closes. I've talked to some of the owners. Some of them are immigrants. As you drive up the street, the names of the businesses tell you about the diversity in this town. People from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Somalia, some of the former refugees who worked really hard at the Tyson plant, saved their money and became business owners in this community.
We need to know what's the other plan he had.
The economy perspective, from the spiritual perspective, everybody's worried.
That's a lot of regret up there. It was an open book test.
I'm regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I want to preface what you're about to see by noting I am not looking for sympathy or validation here. I was just expressing some remorse and some grief and some sorrow, because I think it can help a lot of people to kind of process through that. A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that. There are moments where I'm just overcome with grief and regret. Not anger, not rage, but just grief and regret over having voted for Trump in 2016. And I get that I've come a long way. I get all that. That doesn't take away those moments. It does not take away the regret, the guilt. I mean, I can work through it, and I do that regularly for a lot of different issues, not just who I voted for in 2016, but I just wanted to document this because this is one of those moments. I just saw the Kamala Harris ad talking about how she is the president for all the people and how Trump has a history of wanting to withhold aid from people who didn't vote for him. And I was partly responsible for putting him in office. I was part of that crowd. And that's something I'm going to have to live with. And I will. But there are moments like right now where that can be overwhelming.
To the numerous people who are telling me it's too late to regret my vote for Donald Trump, too late to be woke, my response to that is shame on you. Shame on you for discouraging other people to come forward and take accountability for their mistake.
I'm going to try to have a little bit of grace with this one because I can see that you're trying. The first thing you need to understand is that simply because you regret your vote does not give you automatic forgiveness. I saw in some of your videos that you said you're taking accountability, and making a video saying you regret is part of that. But then there has to be some follow through. There has to be some action after. The change behavior has to come after the apology. Now, I didn't go through all your videos, but I didn't actually see an apology video. I just saw a video where you say you regret your vote. I also saw a video of yours that said that you were wondering why it had to get so bad for you guys to wake up. And it's because you chose to ignore the signs. You did not use empathy when you were voting. You heard him say he's going to grab women by the you-know-what. You heard him call immigrants horrible names and LGBTQ people horrible names, and that didn't bother you. So what's necessary is self-reflection, probably volunteering at some Democratic office so that you can fix what you did, and then educating other people. Come on this app like you are now and say, I regret my vote because of this. Educate people why he convinced you and why you're woken up now and what you're doing about it now. Don't come on here and complain that people are mad at you, because you deserve that anger. And nobody is saying it's too late for you to be woke. They're saying it's too late to take back your vote. I hope that helps. All my love.
In this latest edition of Fuck Around and Find Out, Nebraska, the state of Nebraska, going bankrupt. Nebraska farmers going bankrupt because of Trump's tariffs. They all love to vote for Trump out in Nebraska. Not all, but big majority of them. And look at now. Look what's happening to Nebraska. Going broke because of Trump. Never learn. Some people never learn. The one thing they never learn is that it is immigrants that make America great. Not Trump. He makes America shit. Immigrants.
Senator, get my fat bitch on. I saw this clip this morning. Just watch, and then we're going to talk about it.
I just talked with a nursing home administrator in western Nebraska. In fact, my mom is in that nursing home. And she said with the Medicaid cuts that have passed the House, that the nursing homes will close up because they're funded by 80% of the residents that are Medicaid patients. So I guess I'd like to know how you plan to vote on that. It has already passed the House. What is it, 880 billion cuts over 10 years? That will close a lot of nursing homes. And I think in Nebraska, more people are on Medicaid that would benefit from Medicaid than will benefit from tax cuts for millionaires.
Maybe y'all saw the news out of Nebraska today. Apparently our entire state is going to go bankrupt in 2 quarters. Me and my husband owned a cattle ranch here, and I can confirm that all of the cattle ranchers here overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We support him. We voted for him. Something like 70% of our entire workforce is undocumented immigrants, and they straight up are not showing up for work anymore. They have all either fled the country, fled the state. They don't want to get raided while at work, so they have just moved on to work somewhere else. And straight up, we are going to go bankrupt now. We are going to go bankrupt. And yeah, we voted. We knew that the immigrants would get deported and he was coming after immigrants, yet we still voted for it. Overwhelmingly voted for our own demise. I was talking to my husband last night, and I have to admit that it seems a bit foolish now when you think about it like that we voted for something that is now putting us directly out of business.
And now people are coming out here asking, what about Nebraska? Do you guys care about Nebraska? No, I've already answered it, but the short answer is no. No, we don't. We don't care about Indiana, where I'm from. We don't care about Kentucky losing their bourbon up in Canada. We don't care about Jack Daniels in Tennessee. We don't care about the auto industry in Michigan. Are we all going to feel this? Yes, it's going to hurt. The disruptions in the food supply from Nebraskan farmers is going to hurt everybody. We are not immune, but we can't care. We can't care. We have no more sympathy to give. You guys had a chance. We spent our time telling you, talking to you, talking at you because you wouldn't listen. You decided to vote for Donald Trump. And here he is undoing your entire workforce. And when you lose your family farm of 150 years to a private company who's going to buy up all the land when you guys can't pay your bills, that's the state of America we're going to be in because you decided to vote for hate over the rest of the country and your own good. You cut off your nose to spite your face. So Nebraska, we don't care. God helps those who help themselves, and you decided you didn't want help.
I have a question for the rest of America. Does anyone even care about Nebraska? Does anyone even care?
Do you care about Nebraska? Because I have a feeling you voted for this. I mean, Nebraskans don't even care about Nebraska. Let me ask you another question. Who exactly did you think were going to work in the fields and in the farms after all of the regular day laborers, people of color, are no longer there anymore? Who did you think was going to do it? Did you think that there was just this army of white workers ready to get into those farms and pick all the vegetables? Now people like you who voted for this to happen are upset that something's affecting you, because what people like you tend to really vote for, it's not the economy. It's because you want to express racism and bigotry, and he was the only way that you could do that. But now it's affecting you. All those farms are disappearing, including that 300-year-old farm. And you want to know why nobody's upset at that? It's because you guys did it to yourself. You'd rather vote to have your racism easily spread across the United States instead of thinking about yourself, because you always vote against your own interests, don't you? And isn't it just like you? You voted to hurt other people, but now when it's starting to hurt you, you want us to feel sympathetic for you. Get the fuck out of here.
So by now we've all heard that Nebraska is going to go bankrupt in about 2 months, 60 days, give or take. And Nebraska was a state that voted overwhelmingly for that guy. And now they're all crying and screaming because their workforce is gone. All the immigrants that were there doing whatever they did for them, gone. All these people jumping on TikTok, all over social media, complaining about how they're about to lose their farms because they don't have anybody to work the farms.
So Nebraska voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. They didn't vote for him once. They voted for him time and time and time again. They felt that they were making a wise decision, but it turns out that this was probably the worst decision they could have ever made. The nuts and bolts, the core of their economy, the agriculture industry, is absolutely being annihilated as a result of their vote.
Right now, Nebraska has all sorts of challenges are cropping up for Nebraska farmers. The Nebraska Farmers Union says producers are facing the toughest time in decades.
Their costs are rising, but commodity prices are falling, meaning they can't really turn a profit, and that's hurting the rest of the state's economy. Channel 8's Jake Holman joins us live after talking with a local farmer. Jake, what'd you find out?
Yeah, Rod, Sophia, the GDP numbers for the first quarter of 2025, which is another tool, a measurement to estimate the size of the economy. It does not paint a pretty picture for the state of Nebraska here, and in large part because of the largest industry, which is agriculture. Now, tonight we hear how one farmer is coping with these challenges.
With the interest rates where they are right now, it's putting everybody into a bind.
Bill Landon is one of the many farmers in Nebraska who's at a tight spot financially. According to a report from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, Nebraska's gross domestic product fell more than 6% in the first quarter, tied with Iowa for the largest decrease in the nation. And it's because of losses in agriculture.
Across Nebraska, some small towns and farming communities, conversations are getting uncomfortable. Utility bills are climbing. Interest rates are squeezing families. Local farmers are battling rising costs while profits shrinks. The same voice that once defended every move are now whispering, this isn't what we expected. It's easy to chat at the rally. It's harder to explain why the cost of living keeps climbing. It is easy to post slogans online. It is harder when your savings start disappearing. This isn't about headline anymore. It's about kitchen tables. It's about bank accounts. It's about real life. Nebraska is discovering something powerful. When economic pressure builds, political loyalty gets tested. And when promises collide with reality, the noise changes. The question now is simple. What happens when the base starts asking questions? So guys, tell me your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more real and unfiltered gist. See you guys on the next one. Bye.